Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah. Like everyone else here on YouTube, I'm here to talk about myself. That's not actually, well, it's a little bit true. I'm here to talk about the acne medication called Accutane that sounds really, really scary until you're actually taking it, and then it's really not that big of a deal. So, I'm 24. I've been dealing with acne for about half of my life at this point. I am lucky enough that I have not ever really dealt with deep cystic acne. I haven't had anything that has left deep pockmark scars or anything, but my acne takes a really long time to heal, and I have fair skin, as you can see, so pretty much anything that ever shows up on my face stays for weeks and months, sometimes years, and just it takes a really, really long time to fade. And it's very frustrating, and it's not really a confidence boost, and it just kind of sucks. And if you're watching this, I'm sure you probably know that acne treatment and skincare and everything related to that can be very expensive and time consuming and frustrating, and it sucks. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about. The reason that I am like really, really doing Accutane this time is that I am getting married next summer, and I just don't want to have to deal with acne when I'm getting ready for that. I went back to the dermatologist last January, so January of 2017, because I had been breaking out for about a year and a half, and I just could not get it under control. So the dermatologist that I saw then gave me 2 topical prescriptions. So I was using Epiduo and Accutane, and they worked like a dream. Like, it took a couple of months for it to kick in, but once it took effect, it really, really took effect. And then around August last year, I had about 1 week of like very, very high stress, and I just started breaking out again like crazy. And it was really bad along my chin, and just really big breakouts across my cheekbones, under my cheekbones. I don't normally get bad like whiteheads across my forehead, but my forehead tends to just get a lot of just under the surface bumps and a lot of redness, and that's annoying and difficult to cover up if I'm in a situation that I want to cover it up in, and it's just very frustrating. So once everything started breaking out again in August, I had kind of weaned off of using the topicals because my skin was better, and I didn't have breakouts that I needed to control, so I really didn't need to be using them. And so when things started breaking out again in August, I was using the Accutane a little bit, and I was trying to use other like over-the-counter topicals because dermatologist prescribed medication can be expensive, and I just didn't want to be dependent on them. So I was trying to see, like, can I get this under control through other means? And I couldn't. Like, it had been several months. It got to be around Christmas, and I was like, no, no, gotta do something about this. So that was when I decided I did start using both topicals full time again, and then in March I did have a an appointment with a dermatologist to say, hey, like, it's time to do Accutane again, because as well as the topicals worked, I don't want to have to keep doing this cycle of, yeah, they work really well and my skin's really clear, but then all of a sudden something happens and I start breaking out again, and it takes 6 months to get it back under control. Like, I'm 24. I'm sick of looking in the mirror and feeling like I'm still 15. I'm just not going to do it anymore. So that's why I'm doing Accutane. Like, I'm just trying to get control of my own life, and it's like, when you have acne, it takes a lot, if you are trying to cover it up, it takes a lot longer to get ready in the morning, and it's more expensive to get ready in the morning because you have to buy a lot more makeup, and it's expensive to go through treatments, and it's expensive to see the dermatologist, and even if you're just using over-the-counter stuff, like, it adds up really quickly. And I don't want to do it anymore. So here I am, taking Accutane. Accutane is a medication that is prescribed for acne. It can be very intense. There are a lot of warnings and a lot of hoops that you have to jump through before you can take it. I'm under the impression that it's kind of a last resort type of medication because it can have some pretty severe side effects. Full disclosure, this is the second time that I have actually taken Accutane. The first time that I did a round of it was in 2010, and it worked really, really well at the time. The thing about Accutane is that it is supposed to be 100% successful for about 80% of patients. I happen to be in the 20%. So over the last 3 years or so, I've definitely experienced a resurgence in my acne in breakouts. And it's not related to diet. It's not specifically related to stress. It's not hormone related. I mean, I will experience increasing breakouts during times of, stress or my period, but in general, it's just how my body works, which is fun. So I sought out a dermatologist where I live, and I said, hey, I want to do Accutane again. Can I do that? And they said, yeah, sure. And I think the reason that I was able to do it so easily, to get on it so easily this time, was because I've taken it before. So, kind of a brief outline of Accutane, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna get the book. So the main big-time scary side effects that they tend to bring up when you are considering Accutane are depression and suicidal thoughts, and birth defect if you are pregnant while taking this medication. For depression and suicidal thoughts, I've heard different things from different dermatologists. The dermatologist who I saw when I was in high school and took this in 2010 said that the reason that depression and suicidal thoughts are so heavily associated with this medication are that when it was first being brought out, I guess, introduced to the general public when people were first taking it, there was apparently a congressman's son who was taking Accutane, and during the time that he was taking the medication, he committed suicide. And his parents were obviously distraught, and they blamed the medication. I have no idea if this is true. It may just be that my dermatologist was trying to, make sure that my mom wasn't freaked out about this. But it kind of goes along with what my current dermatologist said, which his theory is that when Accutane was first being tested, it was primarily tested on teenagers who, as we all know, are already under a lot of stress, and they're experiencing hormone changes, and they're, puberty, and oh boy. He was basically saying that he is not positive that you can blame the medication for depression in teenagers when they may already be predisposed to those feelings just based on that time in their lives. I'm not trying at all to say that that's not a side effect. I'm not trying to belittle depression or suicidal thoughts or anything. I'm just telling you what my doctors told me, which seems to be that they don't personally think that this medication will cause those side effects. Now, the pregnancy stuff, the birth defects in infants, that's definite. That will absolutely happen. So when you are taking Accutane, you get to do this fun thing. This is the packet for iPledge, which is a program that you have to sign up for. It has all of this information about birth control and the different defects that can be caused by taking Accutane. And while you are taking Accutane, you have to sign into this website at the beginning of every month, and answer a bunch of questions about birth control and birth defects, and you have to pledge, you have to pledge that you will use 2 forms of birth control every time you have sex while you are on this medication. And that if you do end up pregnant, you have to immediately report it to iPledge or to your doctor, and you have to stop taking the medication immediately. So they take this very, very seriously. And I think that is also part of why it is so difficult. It can be so difficult to get on the medication. I don't know if it's so hard for people who can't get pregnant to get on the medication. As a person who can get pregnant, I think I did have to jump through a lot of hoops as a teenager. By the time I was prescribed Accutane, I had already taken 4 different oral medications and had been using 2 different topical medications for like 3 or 4 years. And when, none of them were working, it was like, okay, we're going to try this one. And Accutane did work. Kind of jumping off of the iPledge pregnancy stuff, when you are on Accutane, you have to get blood work done every single month. If you are a person who can get pregnant, I'm pretty sure a pregnancy test is included in the lab work. But I think the primary reason for it is to make sure that all of your organs are functioning as they should. At some point while I was taking the medication in 2010, I asked the lab tech, like, what is this for? And she was like, oh, nobody's ever asked that before who's taking this medication. And she was just like, yeah, it's making sure that your kidneys are fine. So, yeah, it makes sure that your kidneys are fine, I guess. You can probably find out more information if you Google it or just ask your doctor. Yeah, so if you don't like needles, that is definitely something to keep in mind, that like you will have to get blood work done every month. It doesn't matter. When you get the medication, the packaging is actually kind of scary. So it like looks totally normal on the outside, but like the whole packaging, the whole thing is all very, very anti-pregnancy, as far as like you can't get pregnant while you're on this. In case the iPledge wasn't enough, in case you hadn't figured it out, you cannot get pregnant while you're on this. So the front just looks like a normal medication box, but the back says highlights of warnings to female patients, and then it talks about a DVD, which I didn't watch. But there are 5 bullet points on the back, all about how you cannot be pregnant at any point. You have to take birth control. You cannot get monthly refills unless there is proof that you have had a negative pregnancy test conducted in a lab every month during treatment. Yeah, it's very serious. So when you open it up, it has a reminder to read your medication guide, which I skimmed it. And then the next thing is I don't know if you can see that. I might put an insert here. It's a diagram about the birth defects that can be caused by taking the medication, in case you wanted to see what your baby's head would look like. It's not going to be shaped normally. And then you open it up a little more, and there's a pregnant lady with the necks through her, and then you open it up a little more and get to the pills, and every single pill has a pregnant lady with a cross through it. Just in case you hadn't remembered, you can't get pregnant. So, the packaging does list some of the side effects that can be caused by the medication. There's a really big section that it's all symptoms of depression with a capital D. And then other serious side effects to watch for include headaches, nausea, vomiting, or blurred vision, which could be a sign of increased brain pressure. It also talks about severe stomach pain, yellowing of your skin or eyes, changes in hearing, allergic reaction, or like bone or muscle pain. In addition to those side effects, I did Google side effects of Accutane, and WebMD had a list like this long, and I'm not going to read them to you because they were very, very scary. And I know that it's a lot of like organ failure type stuff, and I know that risk is a reason why many people will not take Accutane, because it can have some really serious side effects, but like so can a lot of other medication. And like people take that anyway. And I guess all I'm saying is The last time I took it, I didn't experience any of the very serious side effects. I don't anticipate experiencing them this time. And that's just kind of what I'm here to show. Like, this is one person's experience of taking Accutane. I will detail the side effects that I experience. I'm going to show you what happens with my skin. I'm going to tell you when I need to start using more moisturizer. I'm going to tell you if anything scary happens. Like, I will be completely honest through the whole thing, just to show, if you want to know what happens when someone takes Accutane as an average case, like, this is going to be it, I hope. So, when you take the pill, because I haven't taken mine yet today, we'll do that right now. When you take it, there's a little tab that says push, and so you punch through it, and then you peel off the scary pregnant lady, and then you push the pill through that, and then it just comes out like a Benadryl. And it's about the size of my fingernail. It's not very big. It's not chalky or dry, so I never have trouble swallowing it, but I never have trouble with pills. So, here we go. And that's that. It's down. Common side effects of Accutane that are not super duper scary tend to just be associated with dehydration. So you will get super dry skin, you may get dry eyes or a dry mouth. I had really chapped lips last time I took it for like the whole time. Both in 2010 and right now, I took and am taking it during the summer, or spring into summer, so I'm hoping that I won't experience as bad dry skin as I could. I actually specifically waited to ask to start Accutane until I knew it was going to be a little warmer out. And I know that I'm going to get dry skin, but hopefully I will not scratch until I bleed. Other side effects associated with dehydration may include like a light headache or joint pain, which I did ask my dermatologist about because I did experience joint pain last time I took Accutane, and he said that it's because like literally your entire body is completely drying out. So all of your joints, your ligaments, like everything is just completely dehydrated. So yeah, you're going to be a little achy. You may be a little achy, but it's not because it's necessary. It's not because the medication is specifically affecting those parts of the body. It's just because it's a side effect of like you're a husk. When I took it last time, I not only did I get really dry skin, but I also I am a very oily person. I was much more I have combination oily skin, so I tend to get kind of dry and flaky around here and very oily in the T-zone. It was much worse before I took Accutane the first time. Yeah, I get oily now. I tend to buy matte makeup, but it's not like that bad. And when I took Accutane the first time, like I was dry as a bone at all times. My hair, like I stopped producing oil on my scalp, so I could wake up on the third day of not washing my hair and you couldn't even tell. It was crazy. After Accutane, I did, I was still like oily after my body kind of re-regulated itself, but it was not the same at all. So I was very thankful for that. I assume that I will experience similar side effects this time, as far as drying out, no oil, not dirty hair. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I do plan to try to stay as hydrated as possible to try to keep away some of the joint aches and stuff. I use the Plant Nanny app to try to keep track of how much water I'm supposed to drink. It's really cute if you don't know what it is. You put in your height and weight and it tells you about how much water you should drink in a day. I think I'm supposed to drink 91 ounces of water a day. I usually don't. Um, but you can put in the size of what glass or water bottle you typically drink out of, and then you know, press the button every time you drink that amount, and it waters a plant, and it's really cute, and it's got little eyes and a face, and, well, it's cute, I swear. But you basically just have to try to keep the plant alive. And if the plant dies, it's because you aren't drinking as much water as you're supposed to. So I'm going to try really, really hard not to kill any plants over the next couple of months. I do plan to continue making videos to update. I will definitely make an update video every month. Around when I get each new prescription, I'll just pop in and say, hey, these are the side effects that I'm experiencing. You know, if I have seen my dermatologist lately, here's what he said, here's what's going on. You can see what, you know, how my face is looking. I am breaking out right now. It's not that bad. I have a lot of scarring along my cheeks. I don't know if you can see it or if if it might be too bright here. But I'll probably be posting pictures on Instagram that you will be able to see it a lot more clearly. And at some point, I will probably talk about my general skincare history, and I will try to dig up some old pictures from high school of what my acne looked like then, and stuff from more recently of like, here's what I'm dealing with. If you have any questions, or if you would like to share your own experience, please comment or like look me up on Twitter or Instagram. I'll have links somewhere. My Twitter and Instagram are the same, and I think I will post update photos as I go through at the same time. I just want to share my experience, and if anyone is thinking about Accutane or is dealing with acne and is on the fence about what to do about it, this is my experience with Accutane. So I will probably post another video in a couple of weeks. There will definitely be one up but when I start the next prescription set the next month, and I'll let you know what's going on. Thanks.